Your packets in front of you and something to write with. Let's begin cluster number 2, dinosaurs, some live and some die. So I'm actually going to start this a little bit different because let's say you are running out of time on your regents. The most efficient way to answer your test quickly and get the most correct answers actually could be from starting with the questions to try to figure out what are they asking you for, so you're actually reading with a purpose. So let's take a look at question number 3, and please feel free to pause the video to read the questions or whatever you need as much as you like it fits you. I'm going to underline explanation because it wants me to find a reason. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, so like reason of what? The reason some things lived or survived and others did not, died. So now I can go back to my reading to try to figure out what made some dinosaurs a little bit better for their environment than others. So one thing that stood out to me was this first detail, that most non-avian, that means dinosaurs that do not fly, they were thick. They are 7,700 pounds. While most avian dinosaurs, the ones that actually did fly, they were much lighter and weighed less. So I underlined that, and then I created my annotations that the ones that were more bird-like was less heavy than the other types of dinosaurs or the non-avian. Now I'm going to continue reading, keeping in mind what is making some better for their environment, what causing some to live, what's causing some to die. The next thing that stood out to me was this sentence here: photosynthesis drastically reduced. So remember, photosynthesis is plants getting energy from the sun. So if plants are dying because photosynthesis is being reduced or decreasing, that means that there is less food for animals that eats plants. So they're starting to die out. Uh-oh, someone's in trouble. And this is giving me a little bit hint. So like, who's dying? What kind of animals went extinct? And our passage directly gives us that. All of the non-avian, so the birds that do not fly, or the dinosaurs that do not fly, they died. So I put this cute little annotation here: no flight, heavy, dead. Fly, and you're light, you survive. Now I'm going to go back to that question that I already pre-annotated, and I'm going to start using the process of elimination to cross out answers that just doesn't fit what I annotated for. I'm going to get rid of number 2 because you technically cannot evolve quickly, right? Miss Francis is short. I cannot decide that, oh my God, you know what? I really want to be tall. There's a lot of stuff going on in the environment, and I just need to adapt really quickly to make sure that I'm tall enough to fit in. You have to be born with these traits that will naturally make you survive. If not, if you don't fit, then, it's clip. Oh, that was a bar. That was a bar. Okay, stay focused, Miss Francis. Next, I'm going to get rid of number 1. And this is because we just said that herbivores, or things that eats plants, they're going to have less food because photosynthesis is decreasing. So plants are dying at higher rates, which means there is less food for them to survive. Now, what you're going to do whenever you have your post-test, make sure you're choosing the best answer between options 3 and 4. Let's move on to this next question. So I'm going to begin by reading the little blurb and choosing words that stand out to me that are scientific. The word that stood out to me was diversity. And remember, diversity means differences. Specifically in this context, it means that there's differences in species, there's more variation, so there's more different types of species. I'm now going to annotate the table to try to figure out what is going on here because it's a bit busy and it's a bit overwhelming even for me. So I'm going to begin with phase 1. And I see that phase 1 is before KT. And remember, KT is that extinction event. So that's where everything died. So I'm going to put before extinction here. And then that little dotted line that I covered is in between phase 3 and phase 1. That's where the extinction happened. That's where a lot of the organisms died. Then we have after extinction. So that's kind of from phase 3 to phase 4. And now I'm going to start observing what's happening to the number of species. So I want to think to myself, which phase had the most plant diversity? And according to that, I'm going to check to see the number of species here. Phase 1 clearly had the most with a number of 47. And then I'm going to observe what's happening as the phases go from before extinction to after extinction. When that extinction event happens during phase 2, the number of species drastically decreased because, of course, they died. But there's hope yet. From phase 3 to 5, I see a different trend. During phase 3, the number of species went to 8. During phase 4, 25. Phase 5, 35. So based on that, I want you to think about what happened to the number of plant species from phase 3 to phase 5. And clearly, we see there's an increase. So let's go to question number 4 and start annotating to understand what do these people want from us. So I'm going to annotate evidence because we need to find a reason. Most likely that evidence is in the table, in the chart. It's in your packet. So we must look. And they want me to find evidence that supports the claim. What claim? Oh my God, they tell me the claim that evolution is a result of changes that occur in the environment. So next, I'm going to look through my answer choices to see how could I start eliminating things that don't make sense. And I already see the word constant. And where I see constant, I know that means remains the same. So that doesn't support what we're trying to look for. That doesn't provide evidence that there's changes. I'm going to continue looking through my answer choices. And I see another one. Stable. Stable also means to remain the same. So I can now easily cross out answer number 1, easily cross out answer choice number 4. And now I'm stuck with choosing the best choices between questions 2 and question 3. Now let's begin for our final question, which is a number 5. And I'm just going to go back and put a little annotation that in table 1, I saw that plant diversity increased. So now I'm going to go through again and highlight the information that makes sense. So I did evidence because that's what they want me to do. That means it's somewhere in this packet and that I don't really have to know much science because they're giving me the answers and all I have to do is look. So I'm looking for evidence that there is changes. Oh, this is kind of similar to the last question, but they're giving me this table. So I'm just going to begin with process of elimination because I feel overwhelmed. And I see that answer choice number 1 says mammals got bigger in body size as plant diversity decreased. Remember what we just said. We knew that plant diversity increased. Easy money. I can get rid of this now. So then the next thing I need to do is I need to observe this table and I need to figure out what was one of the big changes that happened in the environment. We had an extinction, and after the extinction, we saw a lot more plants. So I'm going to see what happens over time. So here is right after the extinction, 300,000 years, and I see that during this time, sharp teeth started to being evolving. Then we had canine teeth. Okay, canine teeth with massive jaws. Herbivore with 2 to 3 rows of molar teeth. So maybe something that dealt with the plants has caused a change in how the teeth is being formed. So now you should choose your best answer based upon what we just analyzed in this table.